On this week's breaking news, San Diego Comic-Con comes in with the bang. We're headed to the Asylum to visit the Joker, Nintendo's Game Boy is finally here, and there are a ton of in-store free builds. All that and much more on this week's breaking news. Now, we're all limited by horizontal surfaces. LEGO takes up a lot of that. So how are we going to solve that issue? Do you leave it there or deconstruct it and find other places? Or could you mount it to the wall? I personally had the Technic supercar, the Bugatti Chiron, taking up a lot of space. So I found 11mark.com, where you can have a fully mounted vertical Bugatti with a lovely background of the Bugatti racing stripe with the logo and LEGO logo. There are two different frames, one that's lit and one that is not. And that's not the only LEGO set that you can have mounted. There are many, many options. So I recommend you head over to 11mark.com and use the code backtobrick, which gives you a 10% discount on all of their frames, as well as the sets that they also produce. So instead of taking up so much horizontal space, take that LEGO set and go vertical. Again, that's 11mark.com and use the code backtobrick to save 10% on your order.
Breaking news. Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Brick. I'm your host Garrett, and this is the podcast where we talk with fellow AFOs about their LEGO designs, and we get down to the breaking news to talk about all things LEGO's been up to for the past week. I'm going to rapid fire this because you hear it on every podcast. Please subscribe. Please leave a review. Head over to the YouTube channel to do the same, and you can also become a patron over at Patreon, get these ad-free as well as early, and then we talk about all the other designs that we have. Other than that, at the end of the episode, we're going to talk about our set reviews. The first one, of course, is going to be Nintendo, as we're going to be talking about it today. This will be set 77092, the Great Deku 2-in-1 tree from Zelda. And then our Rebrickable mock, I'm going to talk about my own mock. This is going to be the Nintendo Game Boy SP. So make sure to stick around. So you might want to get that and add it to the collection as we talk about, well, Game Boy a little bit here today. All right, let's get into this week's first breaking news story. First things first, LEGO Man makes an epic journey to space. Now, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, that these kids over in England sent the minifigure up in a weather balloon. And you know what? It created some absolutely stunning images of this little guy traveling to the edge of space. Weather balloons have been used a lot for this kind of content. I mean, we've seen somebody 3D print, we've seen a LEGO roller coaster, so many fun things and creative ways of using a weather balloon. And sending up LEGO is pretty cool, especially for some teacher that let their students do that. So awesome. And hopefully you can encourage others to do similar things. I know I've been interested, but it's not it's not the cheapest, and you really have to look at the weather and all that. But the coordination is well worth it. LEGO's doing a make and take event for July and August. LEGO Dreams is doing a Z-Blob on July 27th, so this weekend, from 12 to 2 p.m. You can head over to LEGO stores and build this little Z-Blob, and it's primarily just transparent, bright lime-colored pieces with two little eyes. It's fun if you're a Dreams fan, but it's always fun to do a build. And then next is a LEGO Boombox, and it'll be on August 10th from 12 to 2 p.m. And it's kind of a 90s style where we've got the antennas, but all really different colors. We've got a purple handle, a yellow top, and then a turquoise body. I mean, a true nostalgia pull, because a lot of people probably haven't seen this kind of boombox where you put it on your shoulder. I was a little bit after as we got into the CD player and iPod generation, so still a classic even for me, and I'm old. LEGO took a trip to Comic-Con this year, and they added some fun details, specifically going meta. Some artwork that they've put on borders. They've got Invaders from Beyond, so very space themed. They've got Chicken Jockey for Minecraft. They've got Brick Tales of Monsters. And then the main event is actually a large-scale diorama of the convention itself. They have an exterior of the San Diego Convention Center, and then inside they have different booths, all the booths that you may have seen either there or they're not there yet, which means you need to add them. They say even on the space, your booth could be here. Build a LEGOCon booth to receive an exclusive LEGO Pop badge and your chance to see your booth in the LEGOCon diorama. So the pop badges were pretty simple. They're cardboard, but they have like One Piece and Batman and a bunch of others that you could add to a collection. I really think that their pins that they did for the Brickbuster last year was the best. I really want to get them, but they're not cheap, especially because, well, everybody knows they want to get those too. They got a bunch of minifigures figures. And of course, they've got display cases with some of their latest sets and specifically their newest ones because they like to reveal at least one or two. And they did that at Toy Fair this year as well with Beauty and the Beast and the Steamboat. So let's talk about those. LEGO has just revealed a really anticipated set, the LEGO Nintendo Game Boy. Set 72046. It's an 18 plus set of 421 pieces and it'll cost $60. And it'll come out on October 1st. Now, yes, it's a little bit pricier per piece count, but I have to say, I think it's worth it. It comes with the classic gray Game Boy, and it has two game cartridges. One is Super Mario Land, and the other is Zelda. And they're on these printed, looks like 8x8 tiles, and then they've got Nintendo Game Boy 2x6 tiles. So actually, they're probably 6x6. But then the Game Boy itself has so many fun details. One, the buttons can be pressed. Two, the select and start are little tire pieces that can be moved around. And they even have the on and off switch on the top. Volume button can go up and down. The cartridges snap into the back. And then the coolest thing I see is the screen. The screen has a couple different slide sections you can put in, from the original Nintendo logo to playing both Zelda and Super Mario Land. But they're lithographs or hologram where if you move it side to side, it'll change the image to be a movement style to it. That is incredible. That is just an extra level of detail that I didn't really suspect. I feel like that's just an awesome way to add that kind of feature to this. Now, the reason it's also pricier is because a lot of printed pieces and a lot of new pieces where we've got some curved corner pieces and some different colorings as well as the tiles, as I said, and printed is always a little bit more costly. But now I'm going to have to get this, maybe two, so that I can put an actual Game Boy inside it. It's probably pretty compact, definitely to get that shape. I had to do that with the SP, and I also have a DS on the way, so look out for that. But this is awesome, and I'm very jealous of seeing all the people at Comic-Con going through and getting to experience that. Alongside that, LEGO released a classic Nintendo Game Boy TV commercial from the 80s, and it shows some really fun features, of course, of the Game Boy, but then the overall video has that kind of screen to it that is the haze and the lighting is funny. It has some villainous character to it, and it's from 1989, just really plugging in the love of the Game Boy. So they've definitely leaned really hard into this, and Nintendo, I think a lot of people are going to get this. Definitely an item that'll probably sell very fast. LEGO is also going to be going to another con, Gamescom, and it's an exhibitor again, so we're likely to see maybe some new games or maybe a set or two there as well. I don't think they released one before, but they did have a takeaway build that you could do with a little controller of the con as its logo. But we do have Pokemon coming next year, so maybe they will talk about that. I mean, this is pretty early for them to reveal the Game Boy, so I'm going to guess that they're going to maybe tease that a little bit more. Personally, I'm gonna have to get all the Pokemon. It's terrible that they have to do this to me because my wallet will not recover. Along with like the Star Trek build, because if they do more than that, then it's just a whole nother thing. LEGO has another major set that they just revealed, the Arkham Asylum. This is set 76300. It's an 18 plus set at 2,953 pieces and it'll cost $300. And it'll be available on September 12th, not 1st. Surprise, surprise. They keep pushing them to the middle of the month so that you go to the store. And it has really cool additions to a bunch of different characters. Let's see. Let's run through them here really quick. Batman, Batwoman, Batwing, Robin, Mr. Freeze, the Riddler, Poison Ivy, Catwoman, Scarecrow, Harley Quinn, Bane, the Joker, the Penguin, Killer Croc, and 2 security guards. So as you can see, having 2 security guards does not keep all of those villains in Arkham Asylum. What I like about it is it's on a corner display, so it has the archway of Arkham, the sign, and then you walk in, and it has 2 sides to the display that you can house your villains. They've got some different little hints and Easter eggs that we've seen. The Joker is in high security, maximum security, because, well, he's pretty scary. They have the Employee of the Month and Most Wanted posters up there. I'm not a huge DC person, but I think they did a great job with this to add, because the Arkham Asylum, this is the largest one they've built. They've done one before, but this has more detail and definitely goes along the lines of the direct-to-consumer sets that like Marvel has been doing. There's a bunch of companies that go out and build sets for companies, specifically like ours, Playwell Brick, that I work with. And there's another company that does it as well. And they just built the Alienware Area 51 set. And this is a new Alienware build that's coming out. And it's a PC build, but pre-built, so it's going to be way more expensive. And the set itself looks pretty nice, but it's an exclusive when you purchase the Area 51. So it's an expensive purchase to go along with that. I would just personally go and build my own PC again. Lego has revealed another set, another little surprise that kind of went to the wayside as we just got Arkham Asylum and the Nintendo Game Boy. This is Stranger Things Birckheadz. We're getting set 40801. It's 542 pieces coming out on October 1st at a cost of $40. And it has Mike, Dustin, Lucas, and Will all in there. It looks like what they wore in the season 2, I'd say. Not season 3, but they have, of course, their iconic different features to it. We've got Lucas has binoculars and his headband, and we've got the different jackets and the walkies. And I love that Dustin has his cap still and a microphone boom arm that comes down. And you know what? It's great. And then we have Elle. But where is Max? Where is Steve? Where is Jim Hopper? Where is Nancy? We've got some more Birckheadz that need to come out to really fill out this collection. Lego has a rumored direct-to-consumer of a fish tank coming out later this year, and it looks to be massive. Likely launch in November, probably near the middle of November, is what it's rumored. It's 4,154 pieces and cost $500. What are they going to do with that? Is it really going to be able to be filled with water? That's unlikely, because definitely something that you are not going to be able to sustain to do that, especially with Lego bricks, which leak a little bit. But it might go alongside what we see for Pirates of the Caribbean as a different set. Who knows? But definitely going to have different sea creatures, a lot of coral. Maybe they'll even have some motion to it where the animals can kind of swim around. Hopefully there's a little shark or stingray would be fun, and different levels to it. All the fun details that you'd want, having an aquarium with fish that you don't have to feed or worry about water levels for that. Bricklink Designer Program Series 9 will be starting here soon. I think we're just under 50 days. And on July 29th at 12 p.m. Pacific time or 7 p.m. UTC time, they're going to be doing their webinar. This is where they can be asked questions to see what are other stipulations from it. It starts on September 15th through the 26th for entries of models. So if you're really working on one now, it's time to really kick it into gear so that you can get those pieces and start those builds and kind of get into that mindset for this next series. I have a couple on the way, but looks like life is going to be getting pretty busy here soon, so I'm just going to have to work really hard at doing that as quickly as I possibly can. But look for that webinar and see if you have any questions that you might need to ask, and they'll be able to answer them, hopefully. Lego's doing another Make and Take event. This is in celebration of the new castle that I can never pronounce, but they're doing a mini build of the castle. They've got those unicorn spires there in like those sand green, and it's a small build, not as three-dimensional, but it's always fun to get some more detail to it. I would have added a different color, but whatever. I'm not the designer. I'm not going to be picky for having a free Lego to go with that. Surprised that they didn't do a gift with purchase to go with this, but I don't think they actually, I don't know why I'm surprised. They've never done this with architecture set, but it would have been fun to have something like that. There are new Technic sets rumored for this next year focused on NASA. One is the Artemis Space Launch System rocket costing $60. I don't really know what that's going to look like. We already got the Lego version of it, and I think it's sold okay. Everyone loves the NASA system, and maybe this Technic version is just going to be smaller with some other details to it, maybe some action details. But at $60, that's not a terrible price for something like that, and likely to see some more NASA as they've been leaning into the space on the Technic front. Pick-a-Brick has a new update. This update allows you to have some Better features, specifically buying by color. When you pick a piece, you can focus on that specific color and even sort the entire catalog on it. So they've been doing a lot of surveys, a lot of feedback for this, and I think that they've really continued to improve this. I don't know if we're going to see as much improvements as fast as we want, but that doesn't mean that they're not listening, and having this color selection is definitely in the right direction of that. LEGO is having another free build event at their stores on August 2nd and 3rd. This is primarily now in the UK and Ireland, so we haven't heard anything for the US, but we're going to be getting a Gum Fruit make and take event, which focuses on the newest release of One Piece. Now, will this happen in the United States? Most likely. We're not really sure when, but it definitely is a good way to focus on the newest One Piece sets, which I think a lot of people are definitely interested in. And the Gum Fruit is iconic, being that Luffy gets his powers and stretchy ability from that. Maybe that's how Mr. Fantastic got it instead of the radiation from outer space. Don't know. I'm seeing that movie tonight, so I'm very, very excited. And maybe I will see the Gum Fruit there, but hopefully we'll see this as a free build and take event at my store soon. The LEGO Ideas creative lead has had some comments about the latest surge in support over at LEGO Ideas. We talked about it where there's over 85 sets that have made it past the 10,000 support, and I think it's continuing to climb from there. And what they've said is it's been a bit unprecedented recently. We've just closed one round, and now we're in the next one for the middle gate review, and we're already at over 90 projects that have qualified at the 10,000 submissions. We still need to screen all of them. That's the most I think we've ever had, and the review is not over yet. I think the deadline is the end of August, so there's still another month. There's going to be so many submissions. And I don't know what sparked it. One of my theories was it's summer, or maybe more people are building and going on LEGO Ideas, which typically happens around Christmas time as well. There's a peak where people are on holiday, making it their family and friends, and just wanting to build and be creative. So yeah, it is unprecedented. I don't actually know what they're going to do about it. If this continues, will they have to change the rules? I just submitted the Wild Thornberry set, which I would love for your support. I posted a link in the description, and it has over 200 already in the first 48 hours. So that's pretty exciting. I'd love to hit 1,000 within 2 weeks. That's the goal. I just need to continue to post it and show that not everybody knows the Wild Thornberries, but it's definitely fun. And I have another LEGO Idea set that I'm going to be submitting here soon as well. I'm going to just throw them out there until one sticks, but it's all about timing. And I'm wondering which ones they'll pick, especially as this is over 90 and we still have a while to go. I bet they'll hit over 100 by the end of next month. LEGO to cancel some Bricklink Series 4 orders. And, they just said that was different with production runs and so on, but honestly, it's just major excuses. And to apologize, they sent the Bricklink Parrot that they did for the birthday set. And they're sorry for ruffling your feathers, so they sent this set. And to be honest, I wouldn't want it. Cool. It's something that you could have got at Brick World Chicago and whatever. It's not the same as getting the set that you want from the Bricklink Series 4. So hopefully they fix this mistake for the next pre-orders, but it's likely to be the same. Singapore is celebrating 60 years with a Lego mural. That's 265,000 pieces. It's displayed with partnership with the National Museum of Singapore, and the mural depicts a row of colorful houses and different cultures from Singapore in the 1960s. It's a massive mural, and it looks like it's just going to stay inside the museum for the time being, and everyone got to put their bricks on it together. So cool to have that integration of the community building something like this and celebrating such a big anniversary. They've got local foods that they're celebrating and different showcases through August 9th of Lego around the area. So if you're in Singapore during that time and want to celebrate, go enjoy and have a good time in their celebrations. LEGO's just revealed some more sets, this one specifically for Wicked for Good. They've got some great additions for 18 plus sets. We're getting Birckheadz as Elphaba and Glinda at 325 pieces at $20. They both have a broom and a scepter. Very cute little ones. The Emerald City wall art, I think, is the best one right now. It's 1,518 pieces at $160, and it comes with, of course, the Emerald City and a plethora of minifigures. Dorothy, Toto, Scarecrow, Tin Man, Cowardly Lion, Glinda, and Elphaba. For any fan, this is definitely one that you're probably going to want to get for that. We also, of course, have some Friends ones. The Elphaba's Retreat at 228 pieces at $28 comes with Fierro and Elphaba. The Glinda's Wedding Day, 476 pieces at $40 includes Glinda and Madame Morble, excuse me. The Emerald City and Kaimo Ko Castle, 860 pieces at $80 includes Glinda, Elphaba, and the Flying Monkey. Just one. I wish they had a couple more for that. And the Glinda and Elphaba Visit Munchkin Land at 744 pieces at $60. Glinda, Elphaba, and Bach. It looks like a really cool set. Unfortunately, it is Friends for that. But those will all be coming out on September 1st. And then there were some leaked images of a new set, the Wally and Eva set, coming out in September. And it comes with 3 little droids. It's going to be 811 pieces at $70. Wally looks really cute, definitely has some better adaptations from its LEGO Ideas submissions a couple years ago. This is the first time we're seeing Eva, and she looks really cute. And then we have the little cleaning robot with a little red light on it. I don't know if we've getting the official images here soon. Well, there are images that are definitely going to be used, but the official release probably in the next couple days. Thank you all for tuning into this week's news segment. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast as well as the YouTube channel. And my Instagram is slowly getting back there, but that's not my focus anymore. I've decided to move on and see what else I can do on TikTok, YouTube, and all that. But let's get into this week's set reviews. Our first one is an official LEGO set 77092 Great Deku Tree 2-in-1. It's an 18 plus set at 2,500 pieces. You'll get 1,950 insiders points. It comes with 4 minifigures and is in dimensions of 13 inches high, and it doesn't really give any other dimensions for that. And it has 144 reviews at 4.5 stars, and it'll cost you $300. Now, Legend of Zelda is iconic for the Nintendo brand. As I talked about with the Game Boy, it has a Zelda cartridge to it, and it is something just iconic. Having especially a Toon one, having it celebrate 2 different Zeldas is great. The Ocarina of Time Zelda and the Breath of the Wild Zelda. So they've got some really cool details, especially from the Ocarina is more the old school, kind of simpler build. But you've got Link as 2 minifigures for that. And then Zelda Breath of the Wild, we have Link and Zelda in that. And the details of the tree itself have the face to it, and even the eyelashes, which I think was fun. The different trees around it, having some of the new plant forms to it. And then some of those smaller details, such as the shield of Zelda and the creepy spider. I always forget what that is. You can go inside the tree, see different things. And the minifigures are some of the most desirable I think there are, having this be the only Zelda set for now. And maybe we'll get some more. It'd be fun to get even some other more play scale kind of builds to it. I'd love to see the full castle and some other fun details and weapons would be cool as well. But at $300, 2,500 pieces is a little more expensive, but I think that's just based on the Nintendo tax now instead of just Star Wars and having some of these exclusive figures for it. All right, and to our rubricable review, this one's my set actually, the Nintendo Game Boy SP. It's going to cost you $5 at 270 pieces for the instructions. Now, they just came out with the Game Boy, as I said, coming out October 1st, but you can get this now. Now, does it have all the same features? No, but it also is a 1-to-1 scale and using current Lego bricks. So there's inset buttons that are actually hats for minifigures. It does have the hinge section, so it can hinge fully open and down to fold up. On the underside, it has a Game Boy Advanced cartridge that you can slide in and out, and it has the little bumper pads on the back. It's a pretty advanced kind of build. I had to make some compact decisions for it to make sure that they all interlocked and kept it on there. There is the little on switch, as well as the green light and red light for having the power switch on. And the screen itself is pretty thin, even uses 2x2 reversed plates to do that. I don't have lithograph pieces or a screen to put in there, but I thought that this was an iconic build. I loved this, and I just had to share it with everyone. It comes with a little display stand so you can display it. And if you want, you can build this and then display it next to your newest Game Boy from the official LEGO page. Hopefully, you'll enjoy it just as much or even more than the builds that LEGO does. But that's all I have this week. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate all of your support, and I'll leave you, as I always do, get creative, get out there, and go build something.